And you're rolling.
Hi, it's Sloan Brent. I'm here with the Cosmopolitan. I'm in New Orleans, and I'm also at the Association of Fundraising Professionals annual conference. I'm here with Scott Henderson of Media Sauce, who I was first introduced to at South by Southwest Interactive, where he was promoting a Share Our Strength Fight to End Hunger campaign. So I really wanted the opportunity to follow up with him now that the campaign is wrapped, hear a little bit about it and some of the best practices that he learned. Scott.
Excellent. Well, we actually saw South by Southwest as an opportunity to draw attention to a cause that was important in the time that we're living in right now, with the economy being as it is. Hunger in America really has become an issue that's gone straight to the front, especially childhood hunger. I mean, most people don't know that 1 out of 6 kids in America are going hungry. They don't know where their meals are coming from in the weekends and in the evenings. And so we saw an opportunity, knowing that Tyson Foods had done some blog comment actions where people come in, they would donate a specific amount of food to food banks in specific areas. But we also saw that this is an opportunity for us to not just give food away, but to get people engaged in the process. But the challenge is South by Southwest is so noisy. How do we do it? So we actually layered it out. We started off the idea with, let's fill a truck that would go to Austin, Texas. Everyone who was getting excited about South by Southwest, let's give them an opportunity to make a difference, because they all come to Austin, Texas. They love the city, they love the opportunity, but let's give them a way to really channel that excitement. And so we launched it a week before most people were going to plan to go to the city. And just over 24 hours, we had 1,000 people sign the signature, which, if you do the math, every signature was 35 pounds of food, and a truckload is 35,000 pounds of food. So that translates to 140,000 meals that Central Texas Food Bank, actually Capital Area Food Bank in Texas, was able to receive, and then is now already distributing to all their food agencies. But then we saw the opportunity that if it went well, we could use South by Southwest in person as a way to draw even more attention to it. It becomes challenging because, as you know, when you're there, there's so much going on. What do you do? And so we used the pledgetoendhunger.com site as a way to drive traffic to one URL, and we used a hashtag, Hunger Pledge, and that we encourage people to continue to communicate out, and we would add comments into the South by Southwest stream using that hashtag, so that more people became aware of it and they were able to go to the site and sign it. But really what helped us a lot in South by Southwest was the face-to-face communications. Going around at parties at night and talking to people. We had stickers, the old-fashioned stickers. I don't know if people still use that, but we did. And you got to see kind of armies of people with our circular stickers. And people, they knew about it. So by the time the Interactive Festival was over, everyone knew, or at least was aware of that sticker and had heard about the hashtag and seen the conversations. And we actually used some of the question and answer sessions as well during South by Southwest to draw attention to what we were doing. Gary V's panel was a good rush of actual people coming in, signing the pledge. It's always nice to have Gary V's excitement about it.
Right.
And then Pete Cashmore with Mashable, I had a chance to talk to him one night, and he was kind enough the next day to tweet that out and tweeted out to his crowd, and got a good traffic as well. But what we found out was, at South by Southwest, because it's so noisy, it's interesting. It really was the people with personal devotion to the cause that had the biggest impact. It wasn't necessarily your audience. It was the people who really took ownership of it. And we saw that happen locally outside of really social media. It wasn't someone that had a Twitter account with a huge amount of followings, or someone with a lot of, even had a blog. She doesn't even have a blog. But it's a woman in St. Louis who works for Kimball Office, which was one of the sponsors of the Pledge to End Hunger, and she took it upon herself to actually call all of her social network relationships. And I'm not talking about digital social networks. I'm talking about the Elks Lodge. I'm talking about the Harley Davidson Club. I'm talking about her church group, and her mom and dad volunteer at a food bank in St. Louis, or one of the food agencies. And so she used all their relationships to say, hey, pick up the phone, did the emails, and say, all you need to do is go to a website, sign a pledge to say that you'll do something. And the idea of Pledge to End Hunger was, I will do something. I will either share it with somebody, I will volunteer at a food bank, or I will donate to Share Our Strength. And so what we saw was this woman in St. Louis had, we created a website that she could use as a tool, as a platform people could come to, and she used just traditional face-to-face and phone call and email to drive people to the traffic. And you saw Missouri go from top 10 to top 5, ended up in second place, far ahead of California in relative terms to what they were in third place. And you know, not California, Texas in third place. California, who was in third place, dropped out and missed out on the truckload of food. So it's pretty fascinating to see that it was personal relationships, real personal relationships, and traditional social networks that won out, and not necessarily just somebody with a Twitter account and blogs. Now, not saying that we had over 60 different blogs that wrote about this, and we had a number of notable Twitter accounts actually Twitter out on this, and that created a lot of attention and a lot of awareness from it. But the conversion to action was personal relationships.
Interesting. And it's so much about your personal relationships and traditional relationships and all kinds of philanthropy and giving time and time again that prove themselves to be effective models.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think really the lesson that I learned is that social media, Twitter and blogs are like the kindling and like the dry grass that you have to start a fire, but they will go out. It's the real relationships that you've nurtured over time that are the logs that you throw in the fire that would fuel it.
And it's that kindling that keeps people in contact, those ambient relationships, knowing what's going on with people. Absolutely. To then connect again in real life and some other time.
Yeah, and you get these relationships that you don't necessarily have in a real-time situation, but it's through social media that allows it to spread out to a lot of different states and cities and countries that you wouldn't even normally be associated with a cause that you're promoting.
Well, congratulations so much on a great success for Share Our Strength and the pledge to end hunger, and I look forward to seeing what you're doing next.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you in person.
You too. Cool.